Hello everyone, welcome to episode 30 of the Drone Wars, Season 1. So let's just take a look at what's here in front of us. I mean, the Pirate Empire is still rapidly growing. They have a lot of power over the entire board. The Federation is pretty much in second place here. They've got a pretty good control over a lot of area. In fact, they almost have the same amount of planets as the Pirate Empire. It's just the Pirate Empire is a lot more cohesive, I guess. Delta Shipyards is a close third place. I mean, they're over there in that corner of the universe, trying to gain whatever territory they can. Then we have the Great Red Sun Empire. They're very split up, and they're probably not going to last for too long. But it is surprising to see that they're still alive and still going this far into the game. And of course, the New Galactic Alliance is in last place right now. They're actually pretty much on the cusp of extinction here because of the fact they have no fleets left. And because they have no fleets and no shipyards, they really just can't do anything. All they can do is just see if they can outlast everyone else. Either that, or someone takes over all their land and they're completely done for. Anyways, we're gonna hop in and see what the different factions do. Well, here we are. So, the New Galactic Alliance can't actually do anything because of the fact that they don't have any ships. So that means it's the Federation's turn, and the Federation, well, their first action was to go ahead and build a carrier and a bunch of fighters at their shipyard over here, and they're most likely going to be using that fleet to go ahead and take over the rest of the New Galactic Alliance over here. Either that or to push the Pirate Empire back a little bit if they can. Then the second action the Federation is going to take is to actually move one of their fleets over here, one of their older ones, over here towards Delta Shipyards. And they're going to be taking out that fortress world down there on the Earth-like planet. The reason why they're doing that, well, they don't want Delta Shipyards to be a distraction, so they can't just want to push Delta Shipyards back so they can focus more on the Pirate Empire. Either that or they just need more of a staging ground to take out the rest of the Great Red Sun Empire here, or just have more of a presence on this side of the map. Here we are in the grasslands, and we're going to see this battle take place. Here we have the Duke Carrier with, of course, its escort of fighters +1. And it is going to go ahead and attack this fortress over here. It's going to be an interesting battle, as that capital ship is very vulnerable to, the big anti-capital ship weapon in that fort. But also all those smaller ships are going to be easily intercepted by the smaller turrets. I'm not sure how this is going to go, but maybe they might be able to stand a chance here if they just overwhelm them, or just get past everything. Here we go. So you can see now immediately that all these fighters are going to start moving in, and they're going to try dodging the large cannons. Let's go ahead and just spectate from the carrier's point of view. So that carrier is going to slowly and carefully move in. In the meantime, all those fighters are going to try to attack to the best of their ability. There's already some turret fire coming in, so they need to be really careful. There's already some shots coming in there. These fighters are not doing particularly well. I mean, they're definitely able to take the shots, but they are definitely taking hits. Now they're getting within missile range, so they're going to fire as much as they can. You can see some of the fighters up front are pretty much being annihilated with missiles and gone down very quickly. I think the AI on this fighter is completely taken out. These other fighters are definitely moving and doing as much damage as they can. I think pretty much all of these fighters have been shot down, or most of them. There might still be a few that are still alive up above, but they are being very quickly wiped out. In the meantime, this carrier here is slowly moving in. And now it's just about at range to fire away. There's a lot of shots coming in. This carrier is slowly moving in. It's actually a miracle it didn't take too much damage from that from a large cannon shot there. Now it's getting within laser range. So these turrets should all be very quickly wiped out. There's only a few turrets left. They're doing whatever they can from whatever angles they have. That carrier is definitely not going easy on the base. I think that's just about all the turrets disabled here. So, of course, all the fighters were lost, but that carrier is still alive. So, yeah, that's a victory for the Federation. Alright, we're back at the board, and, well, the Federation is going to take their third action. For their third action, they're going to be sending their newly built fleet from their shipyard straight into Alliance territory over here. They're going to be taking on this fortress world with their single carrier and a bunch of fighters. So we're going to jump over there, and we're going to see how much damage that new fleet can do. Well, here we are. We're on Alglo. There's a fortress all over there, and here's the Federation fleet. Of course, we have the Baron carrier with its escort of fighters, plus some extra fighters around that fleet. So we're going to go ahead and see if this overwhelming force of fighters can take out that fortress. There we go. And these fighters should start to move on their own here. You see the carriers taking a lower approach there while these fighters are moving in. I think the carrier is moving down so where the main gun over there doesn't hit it. So it is really, really risky. Alright, now that carrier is going to move in. It's going to try to go up while these fighters are just going straight in. I can't really tell. It's not going to end well for some of the fighters, but if they can outlast the fortress's weapons, then they'll be fine. There we go. Some of the weapons are already moving in, taking out some of those fighters. But that was really risky. That carrier is also moving in up there, and now it's going to fire all of its guns. There's already some homing missiles coming in. Man, these fighters need to be really careful. Anyways, there's a lot of missiles being fired here. And now they're getting close to weapons range. while that's firing away. You can see there's a lot of damage that's been done down here. These point defenses are very quickly being overwhelmed. All these turrets are doing their best to fire at pretty much anything they can here. There's a lot of fighters up there. Pretty much just an orbital bombardment at this point. Lots of the turrets are doing fine, they are pretty heavily armored. They're doing everything they can to take out these fighters. These fighters are doing a really good job at eluding them. Some of them are pretty damaged, but they're still doing everything they can. And these fighters really are not keeping up that easily. They're still doing everything they can. You see some of them are moving around very quickly here, doing their hit and runs. Others are just about starting to fall down as they are being hit. Some of these turrets are now starting to target the carrier. And that carrier really didn't like that. So it's now just getting a little bit closer and firing its own missiles. I don't think there's any turrets left at this point. None of them are firing, so I'm pretty sure they're all out. That's another victory for the Federation fleet, and we can just count how many fighters are left here. Oh yeah, there's still plenty of fighters. There were surprisingly very few casualties for the Federation side. So we're just gonna move forward and we're gonna see what the what Delta Shipyards does next. Well, here we are back at the board, and we're ready to see the next thing that's gonna happen. So the Federation's turns are all done, and now we're moving over to Delta Shipyard's turns. So Delta Shipyards, their first order of action is that they're actually going to send their fleet that was previously up there, and they're going to move it down here to just remove the Federation presence from this part of the map. You know, just doing a bit of cleanup and making sure they don't have to deal with multiple factions. So they're going to be moving here to the Caldera Hills and taking out this fortress world here. So we're going to go down there and see if they succeed at doing that. Here we are on Caldera. So all over there is that fortress that Delta Shipyards needs to take out, and here's their fleet. They've got about 6 corvettes and a single cruiser in the middle there. And they're going to try taking out that fortress with this force. I don't know if they're going to succeed at this or not, but you know, they're definitely going to try. You can see all these ships are definitely starting to move in now. And those corvettes are going to be able to do plenty of damage, but that cruiser is going to do the most damage if it actually is able to get close enough. You just need to watch out for that large cannon. Alright, the cruiser is definitely going up while the corvettes are going down. Oh no, the cruiser is now starting to go forward. I guess it's taking more of a upwards approach. So the cannon's more focused on these guys here. They're already starting to fire away with their railguns. The autocannons are definitely starting to hit them now. They're trying their best to dodge. Ooh, that corvette was definitely shot down. That was a fatal shot. But all these other corvettes are going to continue moving in here. They're definitely getting a little bit too close there, but they're definitely going to try doing whatever they can. And it seems to be trying to aim at the cruiser up there, which has now been noticed. They realize that the sneak attack over there is going on. All these corvettes are definitely trying to get in closer to do more damage. If they can take out that main cannon, then that cruiser might be able to get close enough to do some real damage. Oh, this might be really risky. These corvettes definitely don't want that main cannon to be functional. They're doing whatever they can to distract it. We're just getting close enough to do some serious damage. Oh, there's another corvette down. You see these other corvettes that are keeping a distance. There's definitely more and more losses mounting up here. That cruiser is getting very dangerously close to the ground there. That should be fine. Yep, this cruiser has definitely gotten close enough here. It's now going to try doing as much damage as it can at close range. Honestly, I think this fortress has already been taken out. There's no other offensive weapons left on it, I don't think. I mean, looking at whatever ships are left, the cruiser is still alive. We still have 2 corvettes. I don't think this one's flight capable. It's just kind of sitting there. So yeah, that is 2 functional corvettes plus the cruiser. You can actually double check if this one's still alive. No, it is not. So yeah, there were some sizable losses in this battle. However, the fortress has been defeated. Alright, so Delta Shipyards has successfully taken over that Federation planet. That means the Federation has down one more planet, and they have not much of a presence over here in this territory. That means Delta Shipyards doesn't have to worry about much more over here other than the Pirate Empire and the Federation on that side. They don't have to deal with it too much on this side. It's just more pirates, and of course the Great Resident Empire isn't very much of a threat to them. So they've decided that what they're gonna do from here is just build 2 more fleets. Up there, they've decided to build themselves another battleship so they can easily take over these worlds and have more strength against the Federation up here. And down here, they've decided to build some corvettes and fighters, just so that they have a little bit of something to take some land back over here if the pirates are distracted. It works. On the opposite side of the galaxy, however, the Pirates Empire is deciding to go to a little bit of some extreme measures. They've taken one of their really expensive and powerful fleets from their shipyard, and they're moving it up to take on the Federation head on. So they're going against the Federation's most powerful fleet here, just these 3 ships, and they're bringing quite a bit to the table here. So, yeah, they're going to be taking on the Federation there, and if they successfully defeat that Federation fleet, then they'll have to take on that fortress world to actually, successfully take over that planet, or this alien planet. This is going to be a really big battle, so hopefully the computer doesn't crash on me while I'm trying to do this, but we're going to see what happens here. Well, here we are. We're on the alien planet, here in the middle of the forest, and this is going to be a really big battle. Again, one of the biggest battles in the series here. It's basically Clash of Giants Part 2 at this point. So here we are. We've got quite a few ships here. We have 2 carriers, the 1 battleship, and then all these fighters here on the Federation side. I'm going to teleport my character here in the middle. Just make them fall down a bit here. And then we're going to go ahead and look at what the pirates are bringing to attack them. The pirates are going all out. They want to eliminate this fleet, no matter what it takes. So you can see here, they're bringing quite a bit. 3 battleships here, plenty of fighters that come with them, and also just additional. And then some frigates around here to round out the fleet. This is going to be a massive battle. Let's go ahead and just begin. Just see what happens. Yep, here we go. All these ships are starting to move in here. Torpedoes being fired. I don't even know if these ships over here even have any point defense. Actually, they do have some point defense. I think their first order of business is to take out that battleship firing those missiles, because those are going to be very problematic. Oh, those missiles are going to do a lot of damage if they don't get shot down soon. There we go. Some point defenses are active here, just trying to shoot down as many of those missiles as possible. There we go. One of them managed to get through, but this carrier over here kind of just shrugged it off with its shielding. All these fighters are now moving in. There's a lot of cannon fire moving forward here. Definitely more torpedoes also being fired. Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on here. You can see these frigates over here keeping their distance, trying to do their damage. You can see these all these ships are just moving in, trying to do whatever they can. These fighters are also starting to move in here and firing everything they can. There's going to be a massive dogfight here in the middle. I mean, if the Duke get close enough, they can actually just tear apart a lot of those fighters with ease. It just needs to get close enough to actually do that. Then all these other fighters, yeah, all the Federation's fighters are going to try to move in and take out those larger ships as quickly as they can. And they need to do so as they really need to take out that Charger, or else this fleet is in critical danger. Those torpedoes are really not great. There are hundreds of missiles just being fired off in the distance there. And there's only going to be even more. Wow, this is a lot. That Duke is definitely taking the biggest risk just going in front like that. It does have the most shields out of all these ships. Well, almost. I think the Baron has more, technically speaking. But the Duke definitely will do a lot of damage when I move up front like that. Those close-range weapons are going to be very useful for taking out these fighters. And the sooner those fighters are done for, then the better. Yep, that Duke has now gone close enough for the close-range weapons over there to start firing. Those torpedoes are definitely moving in, going after that ship in the back, and that ship is definitely doing everything it can, firing us pretty much all the cannons at all these enemies here. You can see there's a lot of fighters in battle over here, just missiles firing in all directions. A lot of these should be dealt with pretty soon, as they are just being wiped out very quickly. You can see all of the Federation fighters are now just charging in here. Or just running past all the wing fighters, and they're going to do as much as they can, just wreck these Vega battleships. Of course, these Vegas are really well built for taking out fighters, so these fighters need to be very careful as they're doing their passes. Yep, some of these fighters are definitely being shot down. There are torpedoes just passing through. The Duke here definitely has lost its shields already. It's trying to do whatever it can to fire at everything. It's definitely using this point defenses to take out all these torpedoes. It's trying to be a shield. Lots of frigates have started orbiting in that direction. You can see these Vegas are actually just skipping by, and they're trying to go after the Baron, not there and back. The Baron is firing away with everything it can from a distance. These shields are definitely going to go down soon with all this firepower going in this direction. There's some fighters here trying to attack from below and above. They're definitely doing some damage. But then again, these other ships are hunting them down very quickly, so I don't know if these fighters are going to last very long. You can see here that the frigate's caught in between the battleship and the carrier. It's not doing particularly well. Definitely doing whatever it can to take out these fighters. This ship is definitely taking quite a bit of damage, but it is holding its ground, firing as many cannon shells as it can from a distance. In the meantime, over here, you can see these frigates are keeping their distance and just trying to snipe, which is a pretty effective strategy. You see, there's still some fighters out here who are trying to do whatever they can. I believe they're just hunting down the other fighters in the distance here. Yep, that's definitely what they're doing. It's pretty much just dogfights over here. Fighters hunting fighters are hunting the larger ships. Of course, if these fighters can get some good shots, then they can easily take out these larger ships with some really well-placed shots. But only if those are really well-placed. If these other ships can actually move up a bit, they can actually do some more damage, especially the Duke's frontal cannon. They're definitely struggling here. Seems like one of the frigates has already touched the ground down there. I'm actually wondering what happens to the other battleship, because there was a Charger battleship out here somewhere that was firing torpedoes. Oh, it's actually just sitting back here. It may have taken shots from long range, disabling its AI, which would actually be incredibly lucky. It does appear to still have its cannons operational. Oh, that's not good. There's been a collision between the two Federation ships here. If they don't get up and into the air soon, then they're pretty much going to fall down. Either that collision was accidental, or it was just a really smart way to try to make sure that that carrier could stay up. There's still a lot going on over here. The Baron is definitely taking quite a bit of damage from all the railguns. So it's definitely going to need to play it smart here and do as much damage as it can to these other ships. Massive explosion over here. It definitely appears like the Duke is slowly falling, but it should be able to get back up. It is definitely doing as much damage as it can. It appears that the cannons from the ship they shot down over there are still functional and trying to shoot down the ships from behind, which is definitely not great. The warrior here might actually hit the ground, which is not great either. There's definitely been some collisions, and it looks like some of the other ships have actually collided here. So now that warrior's learned its lesson, it's trying to move out of the way a little bit. At least before the Duke falls down on top of it again. There's going to be another small collision here. These ships are definitely trying to hold their ground, and they're firing away at this Vega over here. This Vega definitely won't last all that long. In the meantime, the Baron over here is taking quite a bit of damage. Still holding strong and firing away with everything it can. The sooner it eliminates these targets, the better. These two ships down here are definitely not doing too great as they're getting really dangerously close to the ground. They're definitely struggling here. And you can see there are still torpedoes being fired by this battleship over here. I think it's pretty much just decided to stay in the background here. But it is definitely still firing torpedoes. Those are going to be lethal to any ship that gets too close. There's just a lot of railgun off in the distance out there. And these torpedoes are definitely moving in towards a target. Not quite sure which target, but they are moving in this direction. Okay, so the Duke is definitely doing its job taking care of those torpedoes. So that way the Baron can do most of the damage out here with its cannons. And you can see those cannons are doing an excellent job of just bombarding the target from the distance. If these ships aren't careful, these shells are going to do a lot of damage. There's even some shells going all the way across the battlefield. I'm aiming at the Charger here, which is trying to keep its distance here and fire those torpedoes. Yeah, the Duke and the Warrior are not doing too great here. The Warrior especially. It is just smoking on pretty much all sides. It's definitely holding on as best it can. If the Duke can actually manage to aim its main gun at that Vega up there, it could probably shoot it down. You can see the Vega's definitely lost a lot of its main engines already. But it's definitely not giving up, and it's just holding its position here to fire all of its railguns and rapid weaponry at the Baron here. The sooner the Baron goes down, the better for the Empire here. You can see that there are shots coming from behind the Baron, which is not great. It's definitely aiming for the engine bays. Yeah, there's a lot of shots going after the engine bays here, which is not good. The Baron just needs to hope that its armor can hold and needs to just fire as many shots as it can from a distance. These two are still trying to hold their ground. It seems like the Warrior is at least trying to switch targets at this point. It barely even has any engines left. It's definitely trying. It is slowly falling back, which makes it an optimal target for the other battleship there if it hasn't fallen already. It's definitely trying to focus its weapons between these two. The frigate down here, which is actually almost completely disintegrated, and the nearby destroyer Vega here, which should get shot down pretty soon if this keeps up. I don't think there's any fighters left in this battle. There's definitely a lot of shots coming in. It's actually surprising to see that the Baron here is still alive. He is slowly starting to lose his weapons, and its engines have taken quite a bit of damage. Off in the distance, we can see these other frigates. They're trying to do whatever damage they can, but they are being shot from a distance. There's a lot of cannon fire everywhere. The charger there is still very close to the ground, and actually, I think the charger has been shot down. Yeah, it has been shot down. It's still functional, but it's pretty much just fallen to the ground here. So it's no longer able to fly. Those cannons still pose it. Those cannons are still a pretty big threat. And if it loses enough armor, it might be able to try getting back up. Those torpedoes that it fires are also definitely very dangerous. You can see that it is aiming at the warrior, which at this point is very vulnerable to those cannon shells. The Duke might actually be in the perfect position to use its main weapon now. So it's up to the AI to decide if it actually wants to use it, if the weapon is even functional. It's definitely eating into the hull here. It's pretty much just a light show out here, just seeing how many railguns are being fired in all directions. That Duke definitely isn't looking good. It appears to be slowly falling. It's definitely lost some more of his thrusters on the side there. So he might actually be falling a little bit. There were some torpedoes being fired here. I think these torpedoes are still going after the Baron, or they might be going after the warrior. I'm not quite sure. But the Duke is not letting that happen. It's just going to keep firing away at those torpedoes and preventing them from hitting. And the Warrior is definitely moving forward to try doing whatever damage it can here. Massive explosion already done here. Yeah, this Vega might go down pretty soon. At this point, I think some of its thrusters, yeah, some of its main thrusters might have already been exposed and moved. So it's definitely going down. They are doing a lot of damage, but I don't think it's enough damage. As you can see here, they're slowly trying to dig in, and they're definitely succeeding in some areas here. And that Baron is holding strong. All the way down here, we can see the Duke is pretty much about to hit the ground. There is a very soft crash landing here. It might be able to get back up. Just me. On the other hand, that Vega over there is definitely going down. Well, this is going to be a really big explosion. Now the trees actually prevented it from hitting the ground and exploding right away. So it might actually be able to just fly away from that. Just barely. The Duke over there is still sitting on the ground and taking quite a bit of damage. So if it is lucky, it might lose enough weight to actually get up off the ground again. The gravity here is a little bit heavy. There's actually the perfect angle for it to do a ton of damage to this destroyer Vega as well. There's a lot of weapons being removed here. I recall there was a battleship somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's definitely going in and being very heroic here. In the meantime, this Baron is turn around, switch targets here. So it recognizes that the destroyer Vega behind you is actually more of a threat than the other one, which will be shot down pretty soon. And the broadside will allow it to fire at both simultaneously as well. There's still all those frigates in the distance that need to be dealt with, and they are definitely firing away, trying to do whatever damage they can. Surprising to see the Warrior just charging in very quickly. Although that is what it is built for. There's always some large explosions going on over here. Okay, that Duke is still just sliding along the ground here, which isn't great, but you know, it's better than just staying still. If they can get off the ground, then it would be able to continue to survive and serve the fleet. But if it's unable to get off the ground, then it's pretty much just stuck. Actually, it is kind of off the ground a little bit, though it is still kind of sinking. It's definitely refusing to give up here. I'm actually surprised that this ship is still flying with all the damage it's taken. I don't think it has any more forward engines at this point. They're all just completely gone. There we go, another large explosion on that battleship there. So yeah, the Vega battleship here should be falling soon, as it's lost most of its hydrogen now. You can definitely hear the alarms going off already. It's not going to give up without a fight, it is firing away whatever it can. Definitely wants to go after those engines, those other thrusters. And into the ground he goes. Unless a tree stops him. Physics is kind of strange in this game sometimes. Well, that was kind of anticlimactic. It was a collision, but not a very fast one. And this ship is still going to try doing whatever damage it can while it's down. Oh, it appears that it's still trying to fly, actually. Definitely still has a lot of engine power, but all the weapons on the Duke are just firing away, doing whatever they can. This is a battle on the ground over here. While this is going on, let's take a look at the other battle over here. You can definitely see that this battleship is still doing whatever it can. And the Baron has actually moved over there. Although it is very close to the ground, so I assume it took some critical damage that's causing it to fall very quickly. Oh, it's definitely a loss on major conveyor lines, so it is falling here. But it has done quite a bit of damage, as you can see there's another frigate crashing in the background. The Baron might still be able to get up. It's definitely trying. The battle's definitely not over yet, as we still have the warrior here. Although the warrior might fall as well. Yeah, things here are definitely not looking good for the Federation. Oh, that's definitely not looking good. Maybe it might still be able to get up. Maybe. It's definitely trying. So he has dug himself in pretty low. The other Federation ships are pretty much just planted on the ground. This is the last ship that has at least some kind of flight ability. So if it can get off the ground, then the battle's not done. It's not done yet. Here we go. He's definitely doing whatever he can. He just needs to get himself out of the hole before he takes too much damage. Still plenty of shots ringing out. The Baron here is still moving, although it's stuck on the ground, which is not great. There's still all these frigates up here doing whatever damage they can from a distance. That Vega up there is pretty much just terrorizing the other ships here. That battleship is definitely doing whatever it can to get back up. There it goes. He just needs to face towards the enemy and rise up. Yep, that battleship is definitely not done for yet. He goes above the, he's just going to go above the trees here, and he's going to go after that Vega over there, which is just tearing this Duke apart. Don't think there's going to be much left of this ship afterwards. Yep, here comes the warrior, although he's taken quite a bit of damage. Hopefully he doesn't fall to the ground again. He's definitely taking a lot of damage. Yeah, it's just colliding with some trees as he's trying to stabilize himself in the air. Hitting the ground a few times and then trying to get back up. Here he goes. Definitely a lot of shots coming out, trying to hit different things. It's actually surprising to see his battleship is still flight capable, but it is struggling. It's continuing to dig into the ground here. If he doesn't get up, it's basically game over for the Federation here. Is he out of fuel? No, he's still trying to fly a little bit. I'm not quite sure what this battleship is doing here. Maybe he's just trying to lift himself up so more of his cannons can actually hit the target here. Either that or one of his main thrusters might have been shot out. So there are still turrets firing in his general direction here. You know, he's still definitely moving and still trying to fight here. The Baron over there is pretty much just on the ground and trying to tear this Vega apart. That Vega might actually hit the ground soon. This battleship is still trying its best here. At this point, all the Federation ships are on the ground, so I'm going to call this the end of this battle. We still have one destroyer Vega, and I think there were 2 frigates up here somewhere that were still flight capable. Well, 1, I think. So it's just 1 destroyer Vega and the 1 frigate. The other one crashed down there. So we're going to go ahead and end this battle, and we're going to go ahead and say this is a victory for the Pirate Empire. So there were very heavy casualties in this battle. And here we are for part 2 of the battle. That wasn't the entire battle, the previous part. That was just the Pirate Empire basically trying to eliminate the fleet that was defending the planet. Now the Pirate Empire has to take out the Fortress World in order to claim the planet. So, well, here they are. These are the remaining ships. Just a 1 destroyer Vega battleship, and because it has fighter carrying capabilities, it brings out the fighters that it carries. It basically just restocked its fighters. And over here we have the single frigate that survived as well. 1 frigate and 1 battleship with the ability to carry some fighters. We're going to go ahead and declare war, and we're going to see if these ships are able to take out that fortress or not. Those fighters are pretty much just going to be the bait here, just distracting the turrets. Some of these other ships can actually get in close and do the actual damage. Those fighters are getting kind of close there. There we go. There's already shots being fired towards them. There we go. Already some damage being done. The long-range railguns, and then the other weapons should kick in pretty soon. You can see the missiles already starting to come in from those fighters. They do need to take out those fighters quickly. Also, I think that battleship and frigate are a much bigger threat here. You can see they're already starting to tear apart all of these weapons. There you go, it's just going to fire away at close range here. I don't think there's any offensive weapons left. They've all just been completely eliminated in a very short amount of time. So yeah, that's a complete victory for the Pirate Empire here. Well, that was a very long battle. So with that battle completed, the Pirate Empire is now basically taking over this planet, which I believe was the former homeworld of the Federation, which is why the Federation was defending it so much. But yeah, plenty of losses there on both sides. That was a really big hit for the Federation. So the Pirate Empire, after they've done that, that was only their first action. Their second action was actually to go ahead and claim another planet from Delta Shipyards over here. So, you know, Delta Shipyards is being pushed further back over there, losing planets. And then they decided to, well, if the Federation wants to come back and get their planet, they're going to go through one more. They moved one of their very powerful fleets up here to reinforce this planet. So that's that for the Pirate Empire. They're just continuing to expand and take over the entire map. Up here, well, the Great Red Sun Empire, they decided to use their 3 turns in some interesting ways. The first thing they decided to do was build a fleet of entirely fighters, 10 fighters, right here. Immediately after, they decided to send those fighters to the Reach Ocean planet here, which was being defended by quite a fleet. So yeah, those fighters died immediately. It wasn't really worth recording a percentage video. And then the third action, they decided to build another fleet of fighters here to at least defend their homeworld a little bit, in case the Delta Shipyards decides to go after that. But yeah, that's pretty much all the actions for all the factions for this week. Archers for today, but yeah, that's about it. Let's just zoom out and take a look, see if there's anything. Yeah, the Pirate Empire is definitely expanding quite a bit. They almost have half the map at this point. The New Galactic Alliance has definitely shrunk even more. They can't really do anything. Federation is definitely losing territory, but they're still holding pretty strong, trying to expand a bit to the left. Yeah, Delta Shipyards is definitely losing a lot there. But the good news is that they are trying to build. They're definitely building some bigger ships. They did manage to build a battleship this episode, which is great. So they might be able to at least rise up a little bit if they take over some more land from the Federation and the Great Red Sun Empire. Maybe they might stand a chance and be able to expand. Yeah, that's about it for this episode. If you guys are interested in joining us for Season 2, there is a Discord link down in the description. Feel free to join if you're interested in that. Without further ado, that's it for the video, and I hope you all just have a great day. Take care.